7 mistakes that can hurt your car accident claim. A car accident can happen in seconds. One moment, you're driving normally. The next, you're standing beside a damaged vehicle, talking to police officers, exchanging information, and wondering what you're supposed to do next. But here's what many people don't realize. Some of the decisions you make in the hours and days after an accident may affect an insurance claim later. Today, we're looking at 7 common mistakes people should be aware of after a car accident. This video is for general educational purposes only. Laws and insurance rules vary by state and situation. It is not individualized legal advice. Mistake number 1, failing to document the accident scene. After a collision, safety and medical needs come first. But when it is safe and possible, documenting the scene may become important. Consider photographs or video showing the vehicles, visible damage, road conditions, traffic signals, signs, skid marks, and the general location of the collision. Why? Because vehicles can be moved, roads get cleared, damage gets repaired, and people's memories can change over time. What seemed obvious at the scene may become disputed days or weeks later. Also consider obtaining the other driver's relevant information and identifying potential witnesses. A few minutes of careful documentation may preserve information that would otherwise disappear. Mistake number 2, ignoring possible injuries. Not every injury is immediately obvious. After an accident, adrenaline and shock can sometimes make someone feel relatively normal even though symptoms develop later. That doesn't mean every person involved in a minor collision needs emergency treatment. It means you shouldn't simply ignore concerning symptoms. If you believe you've been injured, consider obtaining appropriate medical attention. There is another reason documentation matters. Imagine someone claims significant injuries from an accident but has little or no contemporaneous medical documentation. Questions may later arise about when the symptoms began and whether they were connected to the collision. Your health comes first, and accurate medical records can also create a timeline of what happened after the accident. Mistake number 3, saying too much before you understand the situation. After an accident, you may speak with the other driver, witnesses, police officers, and insurance representatives. Be accurate and truthful, but avoid guessing about things you don't actually know. For example, immediately saying, "It was completely my fault," may be premature if you don't yet understand all the circumstances surrounding the collision. There could be information you didn't see at the time. The same principle applies when describing injuries. If you're uncertain, don't invent an answer. Describe what you actually know. Accuracy is more useful than speculation. Mistake 4, posting everything on social media. This mistake is easy to make. You have an accident on Monday. On Saturday, a friend invites you to dinner. Someone takes a smiling photograph and posts it online. That photograph doesn't necessarily prove anything about your medical condition. But social media posts can potentially create questions when a claim involves allegations about injuries, limitations or recovery. Photos, videos, comments, check-ins, and public posts may sometimes be reviewed in connection with disputes or litigation. So think carefully before publicly discussing an accident, your injuries, negotiations, or a potential lawsuit, and never assume that something posted online will remain completely private. Mistake number 5, losing important records. A car accident can generate a surprising amount of paperwork. Medical records, receipts, repair estimates, insurance correspondence, police information, photographs, prescription expenses, transportation costs, employment records relating to missed work. Keeping organized records can make it much easier to understand what actually happened and what losses you may have experienced. Consider creating one physical or digital folder specifically for accident-related information. Save relevant emails and letters. Keep photographs organized by date. Maintain copies rather than relying on memory months later. Good documentation doesn't determine whether a claim succeeds, but poor documentation can make an already complicated situation harder to reconstruct.
Mistake number 6, accepting a settlement without understanding what it resolves. Suppose an insurance company offers you money. At first the offer may seem attractive. Your vehicle needs repairs. Bills may be arriving. You want the entire situation behind you. But before agreeing to a settlement or signing a release, understand exactly what you're agreeing to. A settlement may resolve some or all claims arising from an accident, depending on the documents and applicable law. That matters because some injuries and expenses may not be fully understood. Immediately after a collision, Don't focus only on the number written on the offer. Read the terms. Understand what rights are being released. If the situation involves significant injuries or complicated liability issues, obtaining advice from a qualified attorney in the relevant jurisdiction may be worth considering before signing something you don't understand.
Mistake number 7. Waiting too long to learn about your rights. This may be one of the most important points in this video. Legal claims don't necessarily remain available forever. Different states can have different filing deadlines, commonly referred to as statutes of limitations, and certain circumstances can involve additional or shorter notice requirements. The correct deadline depends on factors such as the jurisdiction, type of claim, parties involved, and specific facts. That's why relying on a random deadline found online can be dangerous. If you believe you may have a serious personal injury claim, learn about the rules that apply to your particular situation sooner rather than later. Waiting can also create practical problems. Evidence can disappear. Witnesses can become difficult to locate. Memories fade. Documents get lost. Acting promptly doesn't mean rushing into a lawsuit. It means understanding your options while they are still available. The bottom line. After a car accident, remember these 7 common mistakes. Failing to preserve useful evidence. Ignoring concerning injuries. Guessing or making unnecessary statements. Oversharing on social media. Losing important records. Signing a settlement without understanding it. And waiting too long to learn about applicable deadlines and rights. A personal injury claim can involve medical evidence, insurance policies, questions of fault, state law, and sometimes complicated negotiations. The smartest first step is often simply to stay calm. Document what you can, take your health seriously, and get reliable information. If you found this video useful, subscribe for more simple explanations of personal injury law, insurance claims, and everyday legal issues. And remember, this channel provides general legal education, not individualized legal advice.